Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Algorand's price chart and see what is going on in this area. But before that, we are going to talk about the Algorand network recap in June 2025. And there are a couple of impressive things in here. For example, they say that over the 6 years of Algorand being active, we had pretty much zero downtime, and they are absolutely right, which is great. Also, more than 3.2 billion transactions finalized, and this month alone, they saw about a 114% spike in daily active addresses, which is definitely yet another positive point. And then there is institutional and public sector side. For example, GetPayCode is integrating Algorand for biometric payments aimed at underserved communities, which is actually meaningful because that is the kind of real-world adoption crypto always talks about, but in reality rarely achieves. Plus, Algorand joined the Blockchain Association in the US, signaling that they are absolutely serious about having a say in upcoming crypto regulation debates. Now, I think we can all agree that what really makes Algorand different than some other crypto projects is the RWA side of stuff, because they are not just talking about tokenizing assets. No, they are actually doing it. And we got something called, I think, Lavazza tracking over 14 tons of coffee on chain. We recently have the launching of tokenized T-bills, which is great. Also, Lofty AI recently has hit over 80 million in tokenized real estate TVL, which is great. And WTR expanding to Brazil is yet another positive point about Algorand when it comes to RWA. That, my friends, is a concrete sign suggesting this isn't just about simply trading some meme coins. No, it's actually about using blockchain to track, manage, and trade real economic value. Now, on the payment side of stuff, Eon added ALGO and USDC support, which theoretically enables crypto payments at over 20 million global retailers. And also, ParaWallet launched a universal wallet feature so users can access multiple accounts from one seed phrase. And that, in my opinion, is something that the crypto market desperately needs. Also, in DeFi side of stuff, according to this report, we are also seeing an increase in activity. So overall, if you zoom out, this month does show growth across pretty much every layer of Algorand ecosystem, right? Well, here is the situation. It's not actually all good news, because sure, in the month of June, we did honestly have a lot of headlines to brag about, but Algorand also in this month had a very serious setback. They lost one of their most important partners, which is TravelX. And honestly, that is kind of a big deal. Not just my opinion, you can actually see it in on-chain data. Let's go on Algorand's dashboard. Okay, this is the transaction volume metric. And when you see these numbers, you would think that there isn't actually a whole lot of problem. Well, here's the situation. This is only right now showing the last 24 hours. What if I click this to show me the 7-day period? As you can see, okay, in this period, we did have a bit of a decline, but still nothing really serious. Well, here is the situation. If I just click this one to show me the last 30 days, okay, this is the real deal. Because before TravelX canceling their partnerships on ALGO, we had about, let's say on average, 3 million transactions per day. However, after TravelX canceled their partnerships, right now we are seeing about, let's say, 900,000 to even 1 million transactions per day. This is about a 60-70% drop in transaction volume, and it's not all the story. You see, you can absolutely identify signs of weakness in also daily active addresses. And this shows the last 30 days. And as you can see, after they canceled their partnership, we had about 25,000 active addresses per day. But before that, we had over, let's say, 200,000 active addresses. So this is actually worse because it shows about a 90% decline in daily active addresses. So what is the takeaway in here? You see, I still believe in Algorand. I think they have a solid project, and in terms of fundamentals, I think they are absolutely on the right spot. However, you know the old saying, do not put all your eggs in one basket? Well, it seems like that Algorand definitely didn't listen to that. And well, as a result of TravelX canceling their partnerships, they got hit big time. Question is, can ALGO actually recover? And here is my answer. I think absolutely yes. And this is where it gets kind of interesting. You see, Algorand seems to be trying to pivot its narrative, shifting towards artificial intelligence. And if they pull it off, because I do believe they do have the right fundamentals to pull this off, it could actually attract fresh attention and new types of adoption, especially as AI continues to be a major hype magnet in tech space. So yes, they took a hit overall, no question about that, but that doesn't mean it's actually game over. No, because fundamentally, Algorand still has a strong tech, a dedicated dev community, a real world use case, and that foundation could help them recover over time. And I do believe they will recover over time. But again, we really cannot deny the fact that the TravelX canceling their partnerships was kind of a big hit. So overall, I still believe Algorand is a good project, but at least in the short term, things aren't necessarily going their way. Now, what is going on the live chart? So here's the situation. If you remember, the last time that we talked about Algo, I think we were right around these areas, and the idea was that what we want to see is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up in order to get back above the higher band of this important level, which is somewhere around, let's say, the 21.5 cents area. I was saying back then, so far we are able to find 3 sets of 5 waves, and what we do not want to see is a very strong move down in order to take this important low down here about, let's say, 18.7 cents. Why? Because that is going to kind of confirm that we are having ABC, suggesting our move down overall is not over, and we are going to continue this move and end it. For the first target, we are going to take the lowest low down here about 17.7 cents, but we may go a bit lower than that and reach to about this important region. So what happened? Unfortunately, pretty much that scenario. And here is the situation. Right now, at least, I do not want to say that this support is broken yet. Why is that? Because sure, we did have a move down, but we failed to have a pullback and then a continuation of the move down. No, I would put this move into the category of just simply a fake out. So right now, I think there is still room to be optimistic in Algo. And as long as we are not taking the low slowdown here, I think you can kind of say that maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, and since yes, we clearly do have overlapping of the waves, maybe this is going to be like an expanding leading diagonal followed by a correction down, and then hopefully we are going to get a massive move up in order to, by the first target, take the highest high in here about, let's say, 25.5 cents. But I'm really hoping at that point we're going to go higher and reclaim this level once more, because if we are truly bullish and the low is finally in, then okay, this is going to be a wave 1 on a higher degree followed by a correction for wave 2, and the next move is actually going to be into a wave 3, 4, 5. And what is one very important characteristic of a wave 3? You know the answer, being quite a strong and sharp move on the upside. So if Algo is bullish and the final low right in here about the 14.5 cents region is truly in, then okay, from these areas we need to have a very strong bounce back. Question is, do we have the right setup for it? Well, let's go on 15-minute time frame, and maybe it's best to go on crypto.com's chart because we do have better looking candlesticks in here. So right out of the gate, I can absolutely tell you that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave on the upside, followed by that this can be a correction down, but I do not believe the end of our correction was in here. You see, even if you want to be bullish, I think you need to consider the possibility of having ABC down into A, and then A, B, C on the upside into wave B, and maybe a 5 wave down into our C leg, which in it we may take the lowest low in here about, let's say, 16.9 cents area. If we do get that, then okay, from this region, what you want to see is yet another move on the upside, yet another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me, what just happened? Something like this. There we go. So for now, in like very short term in Algorand, I do believe that we are going to have a move down, but let's hope that in that move we are only going to take this low, and it's not going to be maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order to take the lowest low, because at that point well, things aren't going to look necessarily optimistic in the short term. Let's hope that we get a move done, followed by a very strong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at that point, okay, you know what? Fair enough. We can be optimistic with just a little bit more confidence. We are not going to be even at that point out of the woods yet. It's very important to understand that. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algo. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.